Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, we just had some pretty big leaks just happen right before the show got started. So I did put the Twitter link that we're about to go over in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and check that out after the video to see the full details, make sure to go ahead and check that out. But let's go over some of the highlights. So we just got leaked videos, and these are the kind of leaked videos that Samsung does when they are ready to present a product. And my guess is that this product could be presented with the Galaxy Flip 3. It looks like that would be the most ideal timing for it just because it kind of fits. It's a little too early for the Note event or the Fold event that will happen in July or August. So could it happen after March, possibly even as soon as April? I think it honestly could. So there's two products that were shown in this, and that is the, oops. Sorry, my streamer is going a little crazy. I'm going to turn the fan on. There we go. All right. So there's two products that were announced during this, and that is first the Samsung AR glasses and the Samsung Glasses Lite. So first off, the Samsung AR glasses, because I think those are going to be the more high-end ones that not many people will be as interested in. So these are augmented reality glasses, basically what Apple's kind of working on from what we hear, and that is high-end HoloLens competitors. So you're talking about $2,000 to $3,000 price range for these, a lot more expensive. And what these are kind of to put you inside of a world, to put you around things. Think of Pokemon Go to the level where you're going to see Pokemon around you, kind of thing. Like it's really that much. Augmented reality is something that can be really cool and it can be really a wow factor, but it really is meant to be like that Tony Stark kind of world where you're touching things and kind of moving things around, grabbing them, putting them around, and you can literally like hold something in your hand and move it around. So those are the AR glasses. That's what those are going to be, and those are made to compete with Apple's upcoming thing. The ones that I'm way more excited for, though, is the Samsung Glasses Lite. Now, these are meant to be really in line with more of a Google Glass kind of competitor. So there is so much here. With Samsung's Glasses Lite, it looks like you'll be able to, yes, watch videos, do video calls, which video calls is kind of interesting because, yes, you'll be able to see them, but how will they be able to see you, or will you connect to something outside of it? It definitely looks like it will be connecting to multiple devices. In the video, they actually show you can control certain aspects on your Galaxy Watch to the Galaxy Glasses Lite. So it's really interesting in terms of how it will work together. They did even show that, you can connect them to a keyboard and mouse and have this DeX screen in front of you and then be using it, or even remote accessing your PC at home and using it on the go. That is really cool to me. The fact that I can basically bring a keyboard and mouse combo, maybe a fold out keyboard, whatever, and that's all I have to carry with me to like a Starbucks when we get to that reality again. And I could leave my laptop at home and I could do video editing on the go, but I don't have to bring my laptop. I don't have to, my laptop can stay plugged in, full power, great internet speed, and I could be editing on the go with like that kind of aspect, or gaming with full, so this is the kind of really cool concepts that I definitely can't wait for, that I really am looking so forward to. The Glasses Lite is, again, I've said this many times, this is where I do see smartphones going. I do see smartphones going away within 10 years. And as they fade, I think glasses and wearable eye tech will take over. And I truly do see that happening just because it's so much. Again, we didn't have smartphones to this degree till 2008, right? So again, when we get to that point of, oh, well, we couldn't imagine smartphones being what they are now, again, in another 10 years from now, they'll be completely different. So I do think bendables and foldables and all this kind of stuff is going to be the intermedium, but I truly do believe that glasses technology is going to be the future. And one of the coolest parts of this video was they have a button and then it turns the glasses into sunglasses. I know you can do polar. I have glasses that have polarization, so they just automatically. But something about pushing a button and it automatically polarizing is just so cool. It's so cool. Like it's just, like you can, and it's easier to be quite frankly, because one thing I don't like about polarizing lenses is when you go from outside a bright area to inside, it takes a while for it to unpolarize again. So I just really like this concept. I'm so here for it. Like this is something that gets me more excited than foldables. It gets me more excited than anything else in the future, just because it really is to me where I see the future going in technology. But check out both videos. Again, the link is in the top of the chat, so go ahead and check it out. But it is so clean in terms of how it is. I would show you guys the videos themselves, but I'm afraid it would get flagged. So yeah, just go check it out before it maybe gets taken down, because these are, again, really cool to see. I'll put it right now in the chat just so you guys can see it. But yeah, very curious to see how it goes. Again, I expect this by how polished these videos are and how they already have the name of them done. I'm very curious to see them come easily this year. I definitely think they're coming out this year. But what's more of a curiosity is what launch, because this polish of a video looks like it could be an April announcement coming after Apple's March announcement. Samsung come out with this and the Flip 3, and really, I mean, for me, this would knock out whatever things that Apple has announcing, what new stuff with M1 chips, it's kind of like, and Tag Manager, which, Samsung already has, it's like, this to me would be a real wow factor and something where like Apple would like, okay, we have to respond when we come out with our own glasses, which again are not supposed to come out this year. Apple's glasses are supposed to come out next year from the latest data we've heard. So very curious to see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, very cool for sure. All right, now let's get to some other news. Oh, and so these are some of the screenshots from it. Again, you can do a video call and you're seeing them with the call. And it's a really cool concept. Like I'm so here for this, but yes. Will it be costly? Probably. I think the Glasses Lite are obviously meant to be the cheaper version. And then the AR ones will be, again, probably 2,000 to 3,000. I would imagine the Glasses Lite being anywhere from between 1,000 and 1,500. Obviously, I hope they do have different looks. The Glasses Lite definitely don't look as nice as the AR glasses because white frames versus black frames, but hopefully we'll also have different ones as well. All right, now this one came about, and I saw it. I was like, I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it, but I had a lot of people message me about it. So let me go over this. Is Samsung going to ditch Tizen for Google? No, they're not. Tizen is actually more popular than Google OS, Wear OS. But where this came from is, from what I've heard from my sources internally, is that basically Samsung is looking at making a Wear OS watch again. Does that mean they are going to leave Tizen? No. Tizen has been favorited far beyond Wear OS by far. But having a Wear OS watch could actually make a little bit of a partnership more easily. Now, what is the one thing that everyone has always wanted on Tizen? That is Google Apps. So from what I hear, negotiations seem like, yes, there will be a Wear OS Samsung watch. Not sure if it's this year or next year the way it's going, but more importantly, we might get Tizen with a Google Assistant or Google Maps. Now, those are huge because that is one thing that we have wanted on Tizen forever. I mean, and all Tizen products. I mean, you look at Samsung TVs that are operating on the same operating system, Tizen. Again, it would be great to have Google Assistant on there, and they did that partnership. You can now get Google Assistant on Samsung TV in the 2021 models. So it's again a starting point because now you're getting Google's getting access to all TVs that are Samsung TVs, which are the top selling in the world. Then they're going to get access to another OS which they didn't have before. So it's kind of a win-win for Google as well. But yeah, all of this started because Samsung is developing one. Are they leaving it? No. So that is one thing that I wanted to make clear. They are not leaving Tizen, but they are going to adopt that. And it's because of this partnership that Samsung and Google are having with Tizen, starting on Tizen TVs and following suit to now this operating system. So yeah, it's really, I think it's the best of both worlds if we can have Tizen with Google Assistant and Google Maps. I think that's going to be two things that I think we've been wanting for a long time, but we'll see. I mean, Samsung is really changing a lot of aspects of their business this year, and it is scary on some of the things. Obviously, taking off MST was not a popular thing with the S21. CNET did a whole video on it recently, and we were talking about that months ago. So it is something that we're going to see, like how this goes along overall for them and where they land. All right, now this one is very, 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 very interesting. So I talked about this probably 2 years ago, I think, when the T-Mobile purchasing of Sprint was going down, and it officially has happened. Dish, as required by the U.S. government deal in order for it to go through, T-Mobile was required to sell Boost Mobile to Dish. That is now closed as of this weekend, or this week rather. It was on Friday. So the big thing about this, of course, is that now the rumor always was Amazon could not buy it. They basically, monopolies and all that kind of stuff were basically like, oh, Samsung, you cannot buy this one, right? So I was like, oh, okay. So Amazon was like, well, we'll just enter in a partnership with whoever does buy it. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Now, I don't believe, it looks like it's more going to be of a deal. And it's obviously in negotiations right now that they officially own it. Dish is going to enter a deal with Amazon at building out a 5G network. And, this is going to cost up to $10 billion, which Amazon's like, here's some pocket change, go ahead. So this is really something quite interesting because, of course, this could make Dish a true fourth competitor. And competition's good. Competition is really good. AT&T and Verizon don't want this competition, but this is really going to be interesting because of the fact that this can really change the game by making T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon all make sure their prices don't go up. Because that's the big thing that, as we got smaller, as we had less carriers, that was a big thing. And Dish, no offense, was never going to be able to do it on their own. They just don't have the money to be able to run this kind of expansion. But the fact that Dish can use T-Mobile's network for the next 5 years, this new expansive 5G network is supposed to be done in 2 to 3 years. I would say Dish has a pretty good going forth kind of thing. Enough that I might actually check out their stock. I'm just saying. I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing. If this kind of partnership is going to be, it's pretty interesting. I don't know if they're private or public. I'm not a stock person or anything like that in terms of like expertise, but I follow where the technology is. It's why I followed Disney when I knew they would go up, and they've only gone up in the past year. So again, I knew Disney Plus would be a hit, and I know this partnership is going to be something that isn't talked about now, isn't talked about 2 years from now, but 3 years from now, you can better believe that this could be such a huge competition for the industry. So again, remember that. Remember hearing it today. All right. Huawei is giving up phones for pig farming. Yeah, it turns out that Huawei is diversifying their market. Now, you might think that's crazy and all this kind of stuff, but again, Samsung, if you didn't know, started off as a fishing company. So everything goes full circle sometimes, and everything goes crazy. But Huawei is basically trying to make up. Pig farming is huge in China for so many purposes. So basically, they're trying to get into that industry as a way to alleviate their smartphone sales because they know they're about to lose a big chunk of it now that these things are going through with all the stuff. So yeah, it's a really interesting process in that. I just thought this was a really interesting thing to talk about, so I wanted to let you guys know. And then we get our first glimpses of Samsung's new tablets. Now, typically Samsung tablets are announced this month at MWC, but MWC was pushed back. So for that reason, it looks like this was a leak, and we'll see it when we see it, basically. But I could imagine Samsung either pushing this in their April announcement or putting it way down the line, you know? But it looks like for June 21st is when they have two new tablets coming out. One is the Tab A7 and one is the Tab S7 Lite. The Tab S7 Lite, what's so interesting about this is going to be a 12.4 inch tablet. I want to know the price of this tablet, because if this tablet is like $400 or $500, I would be very curious in this just for a tablet. By all means, right now, I actually have, if you guys remember the Galaxy View, the Samsung Galaxy View, I actually have that as my son's tablet that he basically watches his little shows on, you know, Coco Melon, Baby Shark, all that kind of stuff. And if you've seen my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know that my son can completely operate YouTube. He can just like do all this kind of stuff. He can go home. He's now getting the hang of games really easily. He started learning this Cookie Monster game and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I've been, you know, it's a really fine line to try to get like maybe a tablet that kids could learn off of, but also you want them to get the ability to like tap and things like that. But the reason the Tab S7 Lite is so good is because it's just a huge screen. It's the biggest, lowest cost screen that will ever be launched in a tablet. And that's what's really interesting about it. It's kind of like the Galaxy Mega back in the day, which was a huge screen phone. It wasn't the best specs, but it was the biggest screen at the time. Funny enough, I think that biggest screen was 6.3 inches. That was the biggest screen ever. And no phone was near it back then. I think everything was like at 5 inches back then, or 4.7. So for it to be at 6.3, it was like, oh my God, this is huge. Nothing will ever be this big. So yeah, it was very funny at the time to think about it now. But that is very interesting. I think this is going to be one of the best mid-range tablets that people can buy. Now, the biggest thing I will say about this is it's not an OLED. So it's not an OLED display, and that is kind of worrying to how low of a quality will we get on this screen. But again, I think just having a 2K LCD display is still something that a lot of people are going to be interested in. Let me know, would you be interested in getting, if you were looking at an A-series tablet, so budget-minded tablet, and this was $100 more, but it would give you a 12.4 inch display, would you be interested in it? Let me know in the comment section. I'm very curious to hear that. All right, guys. So on that being said, that was the news for this week. Now let me know your questions in the comment section down below, and I will answer them before the end of the show. Now, I do want to address one thing. If you tuned in last week or the week, or know what happened, been following me on social, you know why I haven't put out that many videos, and I do apologize for that. I thought I would be ready by this week, and I kept telling myself, all right, let's do some videos, and nights are sometimes harder. because that's when I mainly do my videos, and that's when my mind wanders, and that's why I couldn't do videos as much. So I do apologize for that. I'm going to really try to focus. I've gotten more stuff out of my system and things like that. So I do want to hopefully be able to give you more videos this week. That my goal is to at least get 4 videos out, especially all these case videos. I have so many Samsung Galaxy S20 case videos shot, but I haven't done the editing for them. So my goal is at least to get 3 videos out. 4 is actually my goal. I'm going to get 3 case videos out and my SanDisk review, because we do have a giveaway and I need to get that done for you guys. So you guys get to enter in that giveaway for it. So yeah, I'm going to set out to do those for this week, and I will definitely, hopefully achieve that and talk to you guys about that next week on Mobile Weekly, that I was able to get this many videos done. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. All right. How do you disable music controls from appearing on the lock screen on the Note 10 Plus after the Android 11 update? I haven't tried disabling them, but let's see. If you go to lock screen, yeah, you should be able to go to, lock screen, then widgets, and then music right there. That should be able to help you out with that. Now, if it's always on display, right there, show music info. So hopefully that helps for there. But it's lock screen and either always on display or widgets, and those are the 2 areas where you can fine tune them there. All right. Have you done a review on cases for the S20 Ultra yet? I have done them, but I haven't finished them. I have 2 boxes over here of cases that I still need to review. I finished 3 boxes of case reviews already. So again, I promise to try to at least get 3 of those done, if not more, this week. I'm going to try to get them done, honestly, after this video, try to get some up, just so we start getting some out. Why is my Samsung Notes missing the X in the right corner to close it? It used to be there, now it's gone. It's hard to close the Note now. I'm not sure. Can you just close it by going back or not? Maybe what you could do is, first make sure your notes are backed up. So back them up with the Samsung backup. And then once you do that, try to uninstall Samsung Notes and then reinstall it and see if that fixes the issue. What about people who wear prescription glasses? How will they get AR glasses? So I had prescription AR glasses in the past. Google Glasses actually did them as well. But if you did follow me, oh God, what was the name of this company? I don't think I have them anymore, but I had a pair of glasses that I reviewed. Google bought them, smart glasses. I cannot think of the name of them right now. Google. North. Glasses by North. So Glasses by North actually did have my prescription and basically used those lenses. How it worked was, these aren't them, but I'll just use my regular glasses to show you. How it worked was that basically the frames, these frame parts were very thick. So were very thick. And basically they had a projector built into on this end so that it would project to your lens. And that's how they worked. And that's how you can expect the next set of Google glasses to work when Google relaunches them either this year or next year. But yeah, for Samsung, I don't know if that's the technology they're using or if they're building it into the display. If they build it into the display, it's not to say that it can't be done, but it probably would be just new technology in that sense. Um, it'd be cool if you can put your prescription information in the lenses and changes so you can see better. Again, I do have to believe that they will somehow put prescription lenses into it just because it seems like such a big miss not to. But it will probably be, again, a new technology that we haven't seen yet to do that. A clear cover or transparent smartphone. Transparent smartphone, I think, is a great idea and like sounds cool. But if you really look at transparent TVs, I just think they're so like nowhere near as interesting as again something that's like glasses or even something like a smart contact would be really an interesting future. We're nowhere near the technology yet, but like transparent contact lenses could be very interesting in terms of being able to show things when needed and obviously go transparent when not. I feel like it would be a lot like I've worn colored contacts for like a Halloween costume before. So they were blue eye color, and those contacts basically made it very fuzzy in terms of not fuzzy. The fuzzy's not the word. Darker. Everything was darker, like a dim, like you were wearing like lightly tinted glasses. So I could see that being the same way transparency products are as well. And transparency TVs are like that. What is your favorite music player for Android? Thank you for the great show. Thank you, Paul. My favorite one for Android would be YouTube Music. I used to use Google Play Music, which I did like better to be quite honest. Google Music isn't the same, or sorry, YouTube Music isn't the same. And one thing I don't like about YouTube Music that I just realized recently was I don't like the fact that YouTube Music you can't buy music, which I kind of find it a little frustrating because sometimes I just want to own a song so I can be able to download it and then like mix it. Say if I wanted to do like I did uh, a little bit of a video for my dad, um, and I wanted to buy this Linkin Park song to go along with it, and I couldn't do that on YouTube Music. So I discovered that literally a week or so ago, and it was like, oh dang, I can't do that. So I had to buy the song from Amazon Music so I could download it and then put it in my video editor and put it for what I wanted. So that is one thing that I was like, man, I wish it wasn't. I wish it could have been more. Um, Samsung Galaxy S31 Plus Ultra. Any concerning issues pertaining to the MCM client app and carrier hub? None that I have heard of. I have the T-Mobile app on my phone. I haven't had any issues with it. I haven't had any issues with my connection in comparing to this phone from my last phone. So yeah, I've had no issues with it. And my mom has the regular S21 and she's had no issues with it in Signal. So no, no issues at this time. Do you have any favorite channels you like to watch? YouTube channels or TV channels? I don't really watch that much. My main TV that I watch is wrestling in terms of regular TV channels. In terms of streaming, my main show right now is WandaVision. So that is literally a family show for me and my family. Every Friday after my son goes to sleep, Me, my wife, and my daughter go ahead and watch it, and it's like a family thing. It's really cool. It brings me back to that like thing I loved about having Marvel movies. Like it would just always be a time with me and all my friends and my family, and we would go out to see a movie, and it was just such a great experience. So I really do um, love that. So yeah, but yeah, those are the thing. In terms of YouTube channels, Mr. Mobile is by far my favorite that I watch every day. I like Pocket Now. I like Juan Carlos Bagnell, MKBHD, Austin Evans. Yeah, I mean, there's so many like Android Authority, Android Central, Windows Central, a lot of different channels that I do watch. But those are the ones off the top of my head. I watch a lot of movie stuff too, John Campia, and yeah, so a lot of different stuff mostly around. But yeah, those are some of the ones that come to mind. Screen Rant has a great thing for movie pitches that I just find very hilarious. So that's a good one too. Um, will you be doing a review on the Xiaomi Mi 11 Global? So probably not the standard version. The standard version just doesn't interest me as much right now. And again, I'm just never been a fan of Xiaomi's interface. I have thought about doing it if they do a pro model with that screen on the back of the camera hump that we covered last week. So that one I might actually do it. But yeah, that's the ones that I'm kind of thinking of right now. Is it worth getting the Fold 2 now for 1,700 or wait for the Fold 3? Absolutely wait. That's $300 off, right? So for $300, I would gladly upgrade to the Fold 3. I mean, think about this. I will trade in my Fold 2 for probably $1,000. So I'm willing to pay $1,000 more for the new one. Not that anyone should do that, but I mean, for $300, yes, it's better to wait for the Fold 3 in my opinion. You're gonna have, apparently there's a rumor now. I don't believe this rumor. I don't believe this rumor. But the rumor is that they're gonna get these cameras. Which if they do, I will gladly take the Fold 3 then. I will gladly take the Fold 3 with an S Pen. But I don't believe they will. I don't believe they will. That is just serious upgrade in technology, and I'd be very interested in that. If your smartphone is capable of a 55-watt charging, will it hurt or damage your battery quicker than regular 15-watt charger? How long do you plan on keeping it? That's the answer. Because will it damage it if you're going to switch your smartphone out in a year? No. It won't damage it within that time. Will it if you plan on keeping it 2 years? That's around the time you're going to see a little bit of degradation. Your battery's not going to last as long as it used to by doing that. Yes. Too much heat, too much energy going into that battery. The battery cycle count will have gone down at that point. So yes, it would degrade by the 2-year mark. Within 2 years, you're going to see a difference. Are you planning on keeping it for 3 years, for 4 years? Definitely going to see a big degradation. And yeah, the battery will definitely not hold up anywhere near what it used to at that point. So there's your answer. It depends on the user because it really is a matter of fact. If you're going to keep it for a year, you shouldn't worry about it. It's not going to damage it in that amount of time. But I mean, look, here's the thing. You shouldn't be charging your battery with a high power charger just because it can all around anyway. To be quite honest, the more you wirelessly charge this phone, the better it's going to be than doing it to the full 55 watt, 45 watt, 100 watt, 65 watt, all these new ones they're coming out with. It's better to do a slower charge if possible. That is better for your battery life overall. Andre, not really sure. HTC Evo was 4.3 inches. People thought that was way too big to use. Yes, I remember. All these phones back in the day. If you remember, the Note was 5.3 inches. unheard of in a smartphone. No one's gonna buy a screen this big. And that was the note. That was the very first note. So yeah, very funny how it all turned out. Now 5-inch screen. Like this is I think this is a 5.2-inch display on the Pixel 5. 5.2 or 5.1, I think. But yeah, just tiny. I think it's actually, you know what? It's a 5. I think the 4A 5G was a 5.2, and this is the 5. But yeah, this is tiny, tiny. So yes, to be fair, the bezels were bigger back then too. Um, let's see. If Samsung phones are overpriced, what shall I upgrade to? I currently have a Samsung Note 10 Plus. Shall I get a Xiaomi device? They are as affordable. They are as affordable for me. Again, for me, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've just never been a fan of the Xiaomi OS. I haven't. It's very iOS based, very iOS based. Like it makes Huawei look like a stock Android. So for me, it's not something that I'm very interested in. But I know it is getting a lot of hype. I know it is. I went to a Xiaomi event back in the day, and when they weren't in the U.S. as much, I'll try to reach out to them and see if they have any plans to do any review units in the U.S. for non-global reach ones like MKBHD and like the big YouTubers. So I'll reach out to them to see, but I don't know. I'll see. Apple tags rechargeable. I'm hearing that's cool. I mean, tags to be rechargeable, I don't think are the well. Let me put it this way: both Samsung and Apple have a way to reuse the tags, which that was the biggest thing that Tile didn't. Tile basically, after 2 years to 4 years, I think was the longest lasting battery one. You have to replace the tile, and that was their whole thing. That like they keep getting money because you're going to run out of battery someday. So I am glad to hear that Apple might be rechargeable. I love that Samsung is a standard watch battery. So all for that, and definitely here for it. I've been seeing so many problems with RCS on Galaxy devices on Reddit. Mine just stopped working suddenly, nearly a week now. Any idea what's going on? No. Is it on older devices or newer devices? Because I haven't had any problem with mine. Text messages right now. So, yeah, I mean, I've been sending messages all week, so no problems with mine at this time. And from other people that I know are using RCS as well. So I'm not sure. But yeah. Let's see. Ricky, content amazing, engagement as always. What are your thoughts on the new 3070 and 80 Ryzen notebooks, like the Asus GT or G15? Sorry, I'm on the fence of getting one. I am really a fan of some of the new Asus stuff I've been seeing. I don't know about that hole punches. I don't know if the G15 has that, but like they're like the G14 is like scattered grid of whole air punches, and I just feel like I know stuff is going to get in there. And Dave2D even reviewed his, and he said his already got stuff in there and he can't get it out. So I don't know about that style, but in terms of I am really here. I mean, look, I know Nvidia's been the one holding it down, but I mean, AMD is just really killing it. I really, if I was buying a computer this year, which I'm not, I just got this one at the end of last year, so I'm good for another 2 years probably. Um, I would be all in on AMD right now. I would just be in on AMD. I would try to get a USB 4 port so I can connect my laptop to my monitor via USB Type C. That is the one thing I would try to do, get a USB 4.0 cable. But other than that, I mean, that's the main things that I would be looking for. I would definitely be going AMD this year over Intel, and Ryzen or Nvidia. I think you're going to get good systems out of both. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a Ryzen at all right now, especially because Ryzen with AMD does really well. we're seeing in benchmarking. So I think it's pretty interesting to see. Love you, Rick. Thinking of you, brother. Thank you so much, Sean. Ricky, have you heard any time frame on Good Luck update? No, man. Oh my god. Samsung needs to update this. Like, I don't know what we need to do, guys, but Samsung needs to update Task Manager. It is so annoying that I, I hate this. I know it. I think I've literally said it every week that I've had this phone on the show, but I absolutely hate this. Absolutely hate this. I hate having a big app here where I should be able to see all of my apps right away. And so I cannot wait till Task Manager is fixed, but no word on them yet. Um, is Side Sync still available, or can I get something else? So Side Sync is not available. The main thing that they have now is the Your Phone app for all Windows. For Macs, I don't know if they have anything. I know they had Samsung Flow for a while, but it was nowhere near as good as this. So that would have been beforehand. Not tech related, but how are you liking WandaVision? Man, all right, I am sick of WandaVision making me just like, so what happens next? And then end credits roll. I am so sick of it, WandaVision. You leave me on a cliffhanger every single week. And if you're not watching WandaVision and you are a fan of Marvel movies, you definitely should. You can wait to binge watch it all. There's 2 episodes left. Or you can start binge watching them now and, just be caught up. Because, yeah, the last episode was such a good cliffhanger. But yeah, I think I will do a review of WandaVision overall as a show when it's done. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I'll probably do. But love it. Absolutely love WandaVision. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier is next. The thing about this stuff is I really wonder how Marvel movies are going to do moving forward, because it looks like WandaVision will be absolutely necessary to watch Doctor Strange's movie. And so that's just really interesting to me. Like, how, like you're gonna need to get Disney Plus. You're gonna need to get Disney Plus, and that's okay because I think Disney Plus is great. So yeah, I can't wait for more content for sure. Yeah, I've not been very satisfied with YouTube Music. I really enjoy having the song. Yeah, I agree. I actually use Samsung Music Player. I downloaded it from the Samsung App Store. Yeah, from the Galaxy Store. And it works great. I absolutely hate YouTube Music. I completely understand that. I don't like it anywhere near as good. VLC Music Player is good. Runs on any kind of version. So that's a really good one for sure. I do actually have Samsung Music Player, mainly for nostalgic on my S4. There you go. Come to the dark side. Apple and all other YouTubers are doing it. Apple is the new Android. Apple will never be the new Android. Never be the new Android. If anything, Apple. See, the funny thing about Apple to me was Steve Jobs hated IBM. Apple became IBM. Apple truly became everything that IBM was in the 80s, right? And now Android has been the new Apple for a long time. So, yeah, for the rebels, the ones that think differently, they don't have an Apple. They have an Android. Yeah, that's a good comeback, Quiet Storm. The power of Rigsby compels you to buy an Android. Um, check out BB on YouTube. And let's see. Is there going to be a Note 21 Ultra? I haven't heard anything from my sources. There were prototypes made. That's as far as I know. But it's basically up in the air. The guy who didn't want to make notes anymore is now in prison. So we'll see. That's it's that simple. Um, do you think Linux Phone will be the next Meta? No, I don't think Linux phones will ever be popular. I mean, Linux phones have been made before, but it's just I don't think they'll ever be mainstream. I think Android definitely took the best of Linux and made it its own. Why did Samsung do away with age like? I'm not sure what you mean by age lightning. Why did Samsung do away with age lightning? What do you mean by that? Oh, sorry. Um, what do you mean by that, TFR? Let me know. Let all who worship Apple beware, beware the power of 50 First Questions Lite. Yes, shameless plug, and also reference to the ring. Yes, shameless plug that I do every week is plug my card game that I created, 50 First Date Questions. It is one that I made that a lot of people have liked, and thank you for everyone that's downloaded. But if you haven't, make sure to download it today. 50 First Date Questions is a great game on a first date or when you have a night with your significant other and you just want to have a great conversation. It has lots of great topics to bring up, and I think you will enjoy it. Links in the description down below. Download it for iOS and for Android. Whoa, Luca, thank you so much for the super chat donation. I really appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions besides one I answered earlier, definitely let me know. Why did Samsung do away with edge lighting? I definitely saw edge lighting in Good Lock. So let me see. Maybe I didn't. That's Edge Touch, actually. Maybe they did get away rid of it. I never really use edge lighting, I have to be honest. But I wonder if you can. I'll look into it. I wonder if you can actually bring some of those features back with always on display, because it would seem like that would be a good way to do it. So yeah, I'll check that out, TFR. Um, Ricky, why has Google stopped selling music? I think people like streaming better. Yeah, I mean, definitely people stream more now than owning music. But again, for that specific reason that I brought up earlier, sometimes I would want to buy a song, and I don't like that YouTube Music doesn't allow you to do that. If there's going to be a Note Fan Edition, what are your thoughts? Will it be less than the Ultra phones? If there's a Fan Edition, yes, it would be less than the Ultra phones. Would it be good or will it sell that much? I'm not sure about that. Overall, I think that we're gonna see if there is a Fan Edition one, it will be cheaper for sure. I think it will be like 1,000, possibly under that. But yeah, I don't know. They made like a Note 10 and then it made a Note 10 Lite. So we'll see if it's something like that. But the Lite version didn't sell that well. So it really has to be something they push or not. Um, but then, again, the Note means having the best phone out there, right? So again, I think if Samsung would do that, I think that it would Samsung be again not knowing what the Note means to people. The Note means the best of the best to people, and a Fan Edition just wouldn't be that. Um, should I upgrade from the Note 10 Plus to the S21 Ultra? I will say that for me, it would be worth it for the cameras alone. Also a bigger battery. But for me, the cameras alone would be worth it for the Note 10 to the S21 Plus. I do have the case that has the S Pen, and I have loved just pulling it out when I need the S Pen and when I need to use it. and then putting it back. I did just get a new case that does include the S Pen holder, so I will be reviewing that one soon too. Let's see. So someone said they still have edge lighting. Is it in the same spot, Warren, or is it in a different spot? Let me know. What do you think is the future of OnePlus? I'm currently running the OnePlus 8 Pro. It's an amazing phone, but I'm thinking about going back to Samsung. I myself am very curious about the next OnePlus phone. If they can knock the camera to get it just right, I think that will be a huge improvement. So we'll have to wait and see on that. If they can do, I think, the camera right, I would be very interested in a new OnePlus phone. That's the reason I didn't like the OnePlus over the last year, is the cameras were always okay, but I really want something more. So that's why I would look out for. I would look out for a better camera, and then I would be very interested. Actually, the Fold 2 has... Yes, there are many free sites where I could get a song, absolutely. And trust me, you're talking to a person that was the #1 downloader in Los Angeles of Napster. So I do know about that. I was scared out of my mind because I was in the 8th grade, I think. But yes, I know too about how to get music that way. But yeah, I mostly buy my music now, and I just wish there was an easy way to do that legally. But yes. My edge lighting came over my S21 Ultra from my S10 Plus. Got it. So it looks like if you didn't, I don't know. That's very curious. Now I'll go check it just because a lot of you guys are talking about it. So at least when searching on the, at least just when I do a quick search on my S21 Ultra, I do not see edge lighting. So maybe that's what he's talking about. I guess it depends on the smartphone, right? But yeah, I would need a... Yeah, I would need to look more into it. But at least from searching the settings, I do not see edge lighting. I would wait till a good deal. I mean, that's the main thing. I would buy the S21 Ultra if there's a good trade-in deal. If there's a good deal in that nature, then I would go for it, basically. God, it's on sites you can actually convert concerts. Okay. I said, all right. No, but yeah. All right, guys, get your last questions in before we end the show. Again, some good content coming out in the next week. I'm going to try to get some out for sure. So yeah, I'd be very interested for that. Hey, Ricky. So recently my friend was playing with the S21 Ultra. She loved the front selfie camera with beauty mode. She came from the iPhone 12. It was a different perspective from a woman since I know YouTubers complain about beauty mode, usually male reviewing it. Absolutely. And I think that's a big thing that, like, like for me, I have very dry skin, so I get like red and some spots sometimes and all that kind of stuff. I don't put moisturizer on because I just have very dry skin. And so for me, like, I don't put beauty mode on when I'm reviewing, but outside of that, don't mind it turned up to 1. I don't turn it up all the way because I don't like it that soft, but I don't mind a little bit of it. So yeah, I think it's very true that it gets kind of a bad rap when it comes to it in terms of it. So very interested to see, yeah, that I do think that you're right that maybe women or different people that aren't techies would like that, right? And it's a very interesting thing to see that that's how it goes. Um, I have an app called Edge Lighting Plus. I wonder if it was from Goodlock. So I think it was from Goodlock, but I will tell you in the S21 it's not available. Only Edge blocking is, or Edge touch blocking. Let me go see where it was. So Edge Touch is available, but Edge Lighting is not. So that might have been something that I overlooked since I do not use it. But yeah, very curious on that aspect. Um, what did you think of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? I thought everything was exactly how I thought it would go until that ending. I mean, the United States title was an interesting one, but I could see that happening. Did not see the ending coming though at all. So that was really interesting. I'm curious where they go. It makes me want to watch tomorrow night's Raw. So yeah, very interested to see how that goes. All right, guys. I think we will be calling it an end of the night. Again, we'll try to do some videos. I'm literally going to try to edit some tonight so I get them done. I'm going to make myself a little coffee and go from there. So, yeah, let me know, guys, if you have any questions. I'm trying to think of anything else coming up. But yeah, we will have a giveaway. So when you see a SanDisk video come out, make sure to tune in because there will be a cool giveaway for that video. So definitely try to get that done by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. All right, guys, but that will be the show. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will call that a show. Go to settings, notification, and brief pop-up settings. Go to settings, notification, and brief pop-up settings. Oh, there you go. So I have it on detailed, so I never got that. So if you actually do go, as he said, that's a really good one, Eduardo. So if you go to notifications, if you don't go detailed, which mine are detailed, so I never noticed that. If you go to brief pop-up settings, you have an edge lighting effect, and that's how you can kind of turn it back on. So pretty cool. Man, that is hidden. Yeah, you can do all kinds of fun effects. Interesting. Really cool. You know what, Eduardo? That might be a hidden feature. Yeah, now looking, can't find it either. Must be taken out. So, but now we have a way of doing it thanks to Eduardo. So thank you very much for that, sir. All right, guys. We will call that a show. Thank you so much again for watching. I will catch you guys next week. Hopefully, again, my goal is to do 4 videos this week. Let me know how I did. Thank you as always again for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you.